Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is AlintheaYoh coming at you today with an updated version of my Cyber Herald deck profile. Cyber Angel, Herald of Perfection, whichever you want to call it. This is the update. So it's taken a fair bit of changes, if I'm honest. And since the new ban list has obviously dropped, it's really important that I get this out to you so you can see it. I am really loving this deck right now. I'm really happy with how the list is. So I hope you can also like it too. So starting us off, we have the 3 Herald of Perfection. It's one of the most important cards of the deck. It's what you revolve around basically, but it's not explicitly only this card that you need to play with. There are so many different things in this deck, but I will get into them. So 3 Herald of Perfection is one of the most important cards, as I said, in this deck. It's just so good. The recursion, the recycling, just the pure negation, the pressure you can apply with your opponent with this card. It's so good. So we're playing 3. Next up, we have 3 Cyber Angel Ben 10, arguably one of the best cards in this deck as well. Being able to just tribute and then search any light fairy monster is really ridiculous. Searching out the Honest, the Manjus, the Heralds, the Honests. I said Honest twice there. The Christias is what I meant to say. It's just so good. And honestly, I'm so happy that it's here. It's just really powerful. It's not too powerful in my opinion, so I don't think it will actually be hit at any point soon. Or it should really never be hit in the future, but that's just me. But yeah, so Ben 10, crucial card. Then we have the 1 Saphira. So I've bumped Saphira down from 3 to 1. 3 was in the original build, the first build that I put up with this, and now it's at 1. Reason being is it clogged, unfortunately. It just really clogged painfully at times. And I just had to cut it down. I mean, the card is absolutely amazing, and I really do love it. But it had to go down to 1. You can put in 2 if you so wish. But I think 3 might actually be more overkill, especially for this format. And just the way that I run the deck. So 1 Saphira is actually really good. Then we have 3 Manju, the 10,000 Hands, one of your main searches, and just in general really good cards, really easily recurred with things like Ben 10, you can search it, and also bringing it back, obviously with no search, but bringing it back with Ritual Sanctuary is really good if you do need to make a rank 4 player, anything like that. Really solid card, but it's a ritual deck, so you play 3 Manju, it's just kind of that. Next up, I'm still playing the stick and chair combo because it's actually one of the best things in this deck. Honestly, I think these just make the deck absolutely ridiculous. So there's many reasons why you play it, and there's many good ways that you can play it. So obviously the usual combo stick, chair, draw, overlay, pop, draw is really good. And being able to use it with things like Ritual Sanctuary, though, is absolutely amazing. So, for example, if you like really struggling with plays, but you don't have a Ritual Sanctuary, you can summon out the Scepter, search out the Sovereignty. Then next turn, you'll probably have got 4 spell cards in your graveyard. You can special summon the Scepter by shuffling 4 back in. Then you activate Scepter's effect, and then you special summon Sovereignty, so on and so forth, blah. So it just helps you really recur the actual Scepter and the Sovereignties, and make some easy plays. You can invest in the future a lot more. You don't have to just basically bank on hoping to draw stick and chair together. So it's actually really good. Ritual Sanctuary just makes the deck so much better and more consistent in that sense. But just in general, having these, if you open them and you can basically summon Herald and then protect the plays going off, it's so brutal. And you just net so many pluses. It's unbelievable. Next up, we have the 2 Honest. I love Honest in this build. There's no reason why I don't think people shouldn't run it. It actually is game ending at times, and being able to recurse it back as well is really nice. Some cute little combos that I like doing is using Honest, and then if I don't have Saphira, shuffle 4 spell cards back into the deck, then special summon this and then bounce it back to my hand. So there's loads of different things you can do with that, for example. And just in general, really good card. I know that the top 32 YCS player didn't play Honest, I don't think, which is fair enough, but I just think it's too good not to run. And as I said, it really helps you win games, and you can be really aggressive with your Herald of Perfection as well. And then finally we have the 1 Christia. I don't think you need any more than 1 Christia. Sometimes it can be difficult to recurse your grave, but I think it's actually okay. It's not too bad at all. And being able to search Christia at the end of your combos with like Ben 10 is really good. Being able to just bring it out whenever you want is absolutely amazing, and that is why I actually really do love it. So yeah, the Christia at 1 is great, and also I love that it's the Spanish one. Senor Supremo Christia. So that is it for the monsters. I don't play Cyber Angel, Cyber Petite Angel in this build. The specific reason why Petite Angel's really good because you can abuse it very easily in the fact that you will only need to shuffle 2 spell cards into your deck to special summon it from grave, and then you actually get to Surge. So that's actually really easy to do because you go through spells like nobody's business in this deck. However, it requires more of a standardized Cyber Angel pure build, I would say. You need to put in more Cyber Angels to make it better, because the only thing you can search with Petite Angel is the ritual for the Cyber Angels or a Cyber Angel itself. And I only have Ben 10s, and I can search Ben 10s pretty quickly in this build anyway, so that's why I don't play that. I know a lot of people actually did wonder that, so that is why. Next up, the best card ever is 3 Ritual Sanctuary. Card is brutal. It turns hands that could potentially brick into something stupid. It turns hands that need a little bit of lackluster, that are a little bit lackluster, into something that locks the board down. So it's absolutely amazing. Some really good plays with this is if you have Stick Chair, for example, you use the Sanctuary, then go Stick and Chair, and you can pop this card so you can get more draws because you've already used the Ritual Sanctuary, and more often than not, there are 2 more in your deck. So you can use this pretty kind of sparingly and wastefully, because it just means you can get them back later, and obviously you can shuffle copies back in the graveyard if you have others, so really good. 3 Dawn of the Herald, I'll do these together, and then 1 Hymn of Light. I mean, I'm playing 3 Herald of Perfection and 1 Saphira, so it makes sense. You could say you can bump Hymn of Light up to more if you so wish, but I just leave it at that. It's Graveyard Protection is really good, and the Dawn of Light is Dawn of the Herald, sorry, is actually just so good because the usual combo, if you don't know what it is, if you have Herald of Perfection and then you have Ben 10, you activate Dawn of the Herald, use Herald of Perfection, tribute Ben 10, then it goes in the graveyard, you activate Ben 10's effect, then you can activate Dawn of the Herald's effect to banish itself to bring back Ben 10 to your hand. So you're basically getting a free summon, but not only that, it's basically a plus summon, because you're searching off Ben 10 and then you're adding it back as well. So that is why it's so powerful. So not only do you get a free summon, basically, you also get an extra negate with obviously other cards in your hand. So that's why that combo is so ridiculous. So yeah, that's why I like it. 3 Preparational Rites is just so good because it's Preparational Rites, and I'll do the so 3 pre-prep and 1 3 pre-prep and 1 prep. These are standards. You play the maximum amount of these that you can possible, and your maximum of these, because it's just so good. Pre-prep is arguably a card that could be hit. I'm a little bit worried that it could be in the future, but nevertheless, we won't go on to that. The card is absolutely amazing, really good. It gets you out of so many ridiculous situations, and just the extra plussing and deck thinning is crazy. So yeah, nice +1 on that. 3 Terraforming. So I played 2 Terraforming in the original build, but I bumped up to 3 simply because you can just abuse the card. So at best, it's a search for Ritual Sanctuary. At worst, it's a discard for Ritual Sanctuary. So that is why it's good. And yeah, I don't really say too much about that one, to be honest. You can see where I'm going with that. Then we have 2 Pot of Desires. Yes, you might be thinking, AlintheaYoh, you said you hate this card. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of this card, if I'm completely honest, but it works in this deck. The reason why is... Okay, so I want to just talk about Pot of Desires and how I play this card. I do not play this card straight away. Playing this card straight away in this deck is bad. You risk the chances of actually banishing a lot of the cards you need. The only time I run Pot of Desires, there are 2 times where I actually use it. 1, I use it at the end of my combos where I have already like a Herald of Perfection out, a Saphira, or a Christie, or a Stick and Chair, so on and so forth. That's the only time I use it. Or if I am in a dire situation and I need to actually draw it, draw basically combo cards. So they're the only main reasons that, honestly, I play it more on the former than the latter. But it's still a really good card in this build because at best it gives you 2 extra negates with Herald of Perfection, which is invaluable in my opinion. So yeah, the Pot of Desires is in here. 3 is too much unless you want to run more cards in this deck, but I often only really pull it off once and I'll either have won or I've lost. So yeah, and you can just, you know, discard it with a Ritual Sanctuary. 1 Soul Charge. Soul Charge is good just for building some big boards, bringing back the Herald of Perfection. That was successfully summoned, by the way. And yeah, different things like that. So yeah, Soul Charge. One instant fusion card's absolutely amazing when you use it with stick and share, because you can just do some abusive plays. And Nordin as well is a fairy, so you can use it with Fairy Cheer Girl, which, you know, what more do you want? You get more draws. Metaphors Fusion. Now, I will hold my hands up here and say this idea was completely taken from the top 32 deck profile, the guy who topped in Rimini. It's an absolutely amazing idea, and I give him full credit. I do not take this as my own. As I said, I always credit my sources if I take something from someone or if it's a really good idea. And yeah, it is just absolutely amazing. The reason why it's in here, it's fully a discard for Ritual Sanctuary, and then you shuffle it back in and draw a card. How good is that? So that is simply why it's in here. Again, full credit to him. Yeah, it's actually a really good tech, if we're completely honest. The same thing can be done for the Machine Ritual for the Cyber Angels, because that protects all of your Light Fairies, I believe. And yeah, it's really good, but I didn't want to clog up on too many cards that I don't actually have any use with out of Ritual Sanctuary. So this was the one. This is all good. This is enough for me. Annoyingly, twice in testing, I've drawn this off its actual initial shuffle in and draw, which is a bit annoying, but then it means you can just use it next turn. So yeah, Metaphor Fusion is actually a really nice card. One Upstart Goblin, it's a free card to put in the graveyard for Ritual Sanctuary. That's basically what it is. The exact same with 1 day piece. It's just a free card to put in the graveyard. If Upstart Goblin was at 3, this deck would be insane. It would be even more insane, because you just activate Upstart, 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 and then you have 3 cards in the graveyard to actually shuffle back in already. So, you know, it's really good. And then the 1 Raigeki. Again, a recursive Raigeki you can use, and then just... The best thing about it is... As I said, as with the 2 draw cards, you can just use this kind of on the whim. If they have 1 monster, you can be like, no, just Raigeki, and then have a spell in my graveyard, and I have the chance to use it later on in the duel if I draw it, because I've shuffled it back in. So it's absolutely amazing. Really good card, if you ask me, and yeah, just ridiculous. So I think it's 43 main decked. The reason why it's a bit higher, normally obviously you want to put Herald of Perfection decks at a 40 minimum, or 40 maximum, sorry. However, with Pot of Desires, it does help you draw more. So yeah, if you do put 3 Desires in, I would recommend you bumping the total of deck up, maybe to around 45, 50. But yeah, that's down to you. I'm most comfortable with this, and it's actually been working really well. So going on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Evil Swarm Ouroboros. This is in here simply because I finally got my DT one, by the way. I couldn't find the secrets, so I went for the for the DT. First world problems, eh? So Ouroboros is here for first turn plays, which is really good. So for example, if you go Stick Chair first turn, this is the card you go into. And then for anything else, obviously you can go into other times, but it's normally the most optimum times that. And then Deltaros as well as the other level 3. I don't play the Masquerade that stops battle effects. It is a possibility you can win it if you so want. I just didn't really have that much space, to be honest. So, yeah. Going on to the rank 6s, I do have them just in case. The 2 that I decided upon was M7 and Utopia Beyond. Utopia Beyond's here for an aggressive form of plays. So for example, you might think, well, why would you ever overlay? So for example, in testing, I had plays where I would have a Saphira and also a Herald on board. But for extra plussing and for extra lockdown, I knew that I had... 5 fairies in grave, I think it was, or 4 fairies in grave. So I activated another Herald of Perfection, Dawn of the Herald, to summon that, got the Ben 10 back, searched Christia, then overlaid, because I didn't have enough space, I think it was, into M7, so then I could bounce a card, and then special summon Christia. So it was just so good. So there's so many things that you can do. Oh, that was it. I had 5 fairies in grave, so I searched the Christia, overlaid, detached the Saphira, which is a dragon, added Honest back, and then special summon the Christia. So there's a lot of different plays that you can do. I really feel that these are very important. You can play the dragon that flips face down. I can't remember what it's called. One of the new Xyz that came out, Dragolus or something. But personally, I don't think it adds anything to the deck. It flips an opponent's monster face down, and then it can come back when it's destroyed. But you have Herald of Perfection to protect things like that, and you have your ritual spell. So you know that's why I've only got those 2. So yeah, going into the rank 4s, we have 1 Diamond King Crab. This is just here if I need to get over anything big, and this is a placeholder until we have Utopia Lightning that will be legal for us. Then we have the 1 Diamond Dire Wolf. This is just here to make any different plays. Again, this can clear up my board quite nicely if I want to make any graveyard plays with a Christia. So again, for example, I've had situations where I have 2 fairies in grave and then 2 on the field. So I'll overlay into Diamond Dire Wolf, use this to pop itself in the back row, go to the grave for Splash Summon Christia. So you see how it works. Yeah, that all works fine. That goes to Emerald, just if I want to put different things back in, like if I want to put in my Norden, if I've already used it, because I'll probably shuffled in my Instant Fusion. So yeah, you see how that works. The 1 Silent Monarch, standard. The 1 Rebellion, just for making big pushes as well, it's nice. 1 Giant Hand, because more negates is nice. Honestly, when Utopia Beyond comes out, I'll probably replace this with the Utopia and the Diamond King Crab with a Utopia Lightning. So just foresight for you American players who can play it if you do want to, you know, test it out with your versions of the cards. 1 Castel, the 1 Abyss Dweller, the 1 Illuminescent Knight or Anti-Illuminescent Knight, the 1 Fairy Cheer Girl. I finally found my copy, so I have Fairy Cheer Girl now. Card is really good, obviously, because, again, as I said, you can use it with Norden, because Norden is a fairy, so, yeah, it's pretty much a basic 1 card plus as well. And then, as I said, the famous Norden itself. So, that is it, guys. That is the deck profile. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. I fully believe that this list is infinitely better than the first one that I put out. Not to say the first one's bad. A lot of people said that they had good testing with it and it all went well for them, which I'm really happy for. I'm really happy that you guys liked it. But I feel that this is so much more powerful and so much more competitive. It's unbelievable. So, yeah. So that is it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. I will have a replay, as always, at the end. So make sure to stick around for that. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe. And I shall catch you guys later.